By now, you've probably heard the news. You've seen the news articles like this one and this one and this one and probably this one too. You've probably also been seeing a lot of commentary on social media about what this means. In this video, I'm going to break down the facts, the reality, and most importantly, what that means to you as a homeowner, potential home seller, or a potential home buyer. I'm Tammy Medigovich, broker-owner of Casa Realty, serving the Phoenix metro area. And if you'd like to stay up to date on all things real estate, home life, and community related, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. So what is this lawsuit? The class action lawsuit that was filed against the National Association of Realtors, which then spawned copycat lawsuits at the local association level. And the basis of the suit was that the plaintiffs were claiming that the National Association of Realtors artificially inflated compensation commissions paid to agents because of a rule that we have that would require a co-broke fee to be paid if the property was listed in the multiple listing service. Now, the jury found in the way of the plaintiffs, and the National Association of Realtors, after much negotiation, have settled that lawsuit. This is going to settle all of the lawsuits, again, if it's court approved, because it's still pending that approval. But if the court approves the settlement, this will satisfy all of those lawsuits to the tune of $418 million. But what that will do will allow us to get back to business sooner, not without some changes to our industry. What are the terms of this proposed settlement and how does it impact you? Well, number one, the multiple listing service right now, as of today, requires that if I'm marketing a property, and I start marketing that to the public, within 1 day, that listing needs to go into the multiple listing service, and a condition of putting it in the multiple listing service, I need to advertise a co-broke fee. Now, this has also gone through a couple of changes and evolutions over the past several years. There used to be a minimum that was required to be offered to be put in the multiple listing service. Now, there is no minimum. It's all negotiable. Well, what this settlement is proposing is that no longer can a buyer co-broke fee be advertised in the multiple listing service. Can a co-broke fee still be offered? Absolutely. Is it negotiable? Absolutely. The second condition of this proposed settlement is that all buyers are going to now be required to sign what's called a buyer-broker agreement. So in the same way that when I sit down with my seller to write up a listing contract and I'm negotiating my compensation, that's now going to happen with the buyer. This buyer-broker agreement is going to outline the fiduciary duties that your broker has to you as a buyer, the fiduciary duties that the seller's broker has to the seller, but it's also going to include what the buyer broker is expecting in compensation. And that compensation can be negotiated. There's nothing particularly new about this change that's happening. For those of us that have been in the business for some time, myself, 22 years, my mentor, who is my father, has been in the business for 40 years, we've seen the changes, and we've only come 360 from where we were just even from the 80s. And I know that in my mind, the 80s was just 20 years ago, but it's hard to believe just how long ago that was. But in reality, it's not that long ago. And there was a time when buyer broker agents did not exist. We had what we called sub-agents. And those sub-agents were sub-agents to the listing broker who had the relationship with the seller. Now, if I wanted to bring a buyer and I had a sub-agent with the listing agent, my fiduciary was ultimately to that listing agent and therefore to a seller who I didn't even have a relationship with. So our industry shifted and said, no, we really feel that buyers deserve their own fiduciary and somebody who's really 100% on their side, and thus birthed the buyer broker. The media is promoting that this change is going to drive home prices down. Well, in my opinion, no, that's not going to be the case. Home values are all dependent upon supply and demand. And across the country, we are still experiencing extremely low amounts of home inventory and high buyer demand. Right now, rates are still high. When rates come down low, even if we get a 6 in our interest rates, more buyers are going to be entering the marketplace. And with limited inventory, that's going to create the demand to sustain those home prices. Now, I don't have a crystal ball, and nor does anybody else in this industry. But what I can tell you is that there's still a lot to be settled. There's still a lot of information and a lot of mechanics of this settlement, if approved by the courts, that need to be worked through at the local level and the national level. Is it going to change our industry? Absolutely. Has it changed it for the better? In some ways, yes, I believe it's going to level up the professionalism, but I also think there's going to be some hindrances, and unfortunately, that's going to be at the expense of home buyers, especially first-time home buyers. But not to worry, those professionals that are in this business and that we've been in this business for a long time and have been advocating for buyers for a very long time, we're still going to be fighting for you. We're still going to be negotiating on your behalf. Make sure you're hiring the right representative, whether you're a home seller or a home buyer. So going forward, what does this mean? Well, I'll tell you, for me and my business, it's not going to change a thing. I'm still going to be providing first-class service to my clients and potential clients. I'm still going to be investing in myself and education to make sure that I can provide that first-class service. And also, I'm going to continue to connect with agents from across the United States and Canada. I'm still going to continue to network with my community to make sure that I have the biggest impact for my clients possible. So if there's anything I can help you with, or if you have more questions about this particular topic or any real estate topics, give me a call. I'll be happy to chat with you.